Hi everyone, we are about to discuss tooth. Tooth in terms of the dentition, it is seen that thecodont, diffeodont, heterodont condition is observed. The teeth that are lodged into the sockets of the jawbone is a thecodont. The teeth which are structurally, functionally dissimilar is heterodont. Hetero refers to the different. So different types of the teeth is heterodont. The teeth that are formed twice during the lifetime is named to be the diffeodont. The diffeodont teeth, we see it is milk set of teeth, milk set of teeth, or it is also named to be the deciduous and temporary, whereas the second one is a permanent set of teeth, So the teeth which are formed twice during the lifetime is a diffeodont. In this connection, milk set of teeth formation starts in the child, that is in the infant, by 6 months of a time period, and it is completed by 24 months, means 2 years. Permanent set of teeth, which is what the permanent teeth which are formed from 6 years to 8th year, and it continues till up to 18 to 25 years. So the teeth that are formed twice, milk set of teeth and permanent teeth, so twice they are forming, which is diffeodont. Generally, the teeth formation is of the diffeodont, heterodont and the thecodont. We move on to the tooth that are in terms of the structure. The structure of the tooth, it shows the 3 parts. Structure of the tooth shows 3 parts. One is named to be the crown part, neck part and the root part. There are 3 parts in the tooth, which is crown, the visible part. Here we can see the part above the gums is the crown, which is the visible part. The visible part of the tooth is a crown, and the base part of the tooth is what named to be the root, which is lodged into the sockets of the jawbone. So visible part is a crown, middle portion which covers the gums is the neck, and the base part is the root. So 3 parts are present in the structure of the tooth, which includes crown, neck, root. Basically, the tooth is what made up of a chemical substance named to be the dentine. Dentine is the chemical material. The substance that is composed in the tooth is dentine, which is what seen in the case of the tooth, dentine. Dentine is of odontoblast in origin. It is formed from odontoblast, and these are of mesodermal in origin. So the entire tooth is made up of a chemical substance, the dentine, and it is of odontoblast cells in origin, which is odontoblast cells form the dentine, and in turn it is of mesodermal in origin. And the crown part of the dentine is covered by enamel, a substance, enamel. The crown part of the dentine is covered by means of a substance named to be the enamel. Enamel is a white colored, hardest substance we consider. In human beings, the hardest part is none other than the enamel. Enamel is the hardest part, and the root part of the, so this enamel is the hardest part, which is a ameloblast. It is formed by ameloblast cells, and this is of ectodermal in origin. By this we come to know that the tooth is made up of the dentine substance. The dentine substance, which is formed from odontoblast cells and is of mesodermal in origin. And the crown part of the dentine is covered by enamel, crown part. The tooth in the crown part as well as the root part, it is lined by the layer which we consider the substance also. The crown part of the dentine is covered by enamel, a whitish structure. Crown part of the dentine is covered by enamel, which is the hardest substance, and the root part of the dentine is covered by cement, which covers the root portion of the tooth. And the cement is what produced from cementocytes. Cement is covered by the periodontal membrane. Here we see the periodontal membrane. So, the tooth, which is with the crown, neck and root, entirely it is made up of the dentine. This dentine is of odontoblast cells formation, which is mesodermal in origin. The dentine crown part is covered by enamel, which is a whitish substance, which is the hardest part, and it is of ameloblast cells formation, which is ectodermal. It indicates the tooth is of containing cells or of both mesodermal and ectodermal. Odontoblast cells mesodermal in origin, ameloblast cells ectodermal. Odontoblast cells secretes the dentine, and the ameloblast cells which are ectodermal in origin secretes the enamel. Enamel covers the crown part of the dentine, whereas the root part of the dentine is covered by cement, which is secreted from cementocytes. This fixes the tooth into the jaw, which is strengthened by periodontal membrane. The cement covered by periodontal membrane, which strengthens the fixing of the tooth into the socket of the jawbone. And the tooth dentine contain a cavity, name it to be the pulp cavity. Pulp cavity consists of the blood vessels and nerves as well as the fibrous cells. This is named to be the pulp. Pulp cavity contain pulp, which is associated with the blood, nerves, and contain the fibers. At the bottom of the pulp cavity, there present a root canal through which these are supplied, and this is how it gets the nutrients. The tooth, which is of the mesodermal and ectodermal, and it is lined by means of, so in this connection we learn the cells, membrane and parts. 1, the crown part, 2, neck, and 3, root. It is made up of the dentine. The cells associated with the tooth is odontoblast cells and ameloblast cells. Odontoblast cells secretes the dentine. These are of mesodermal in origin. Ameloblast cells, which are ectodermal in origin, and secretes the enamel, hardest substance. The hardest substance of the tooth is the entire body is the enamel. Next, the membrane. Enamel is a membrane, and also it is the substance hardest. Then cement and the periodontal membrane, which are cover the root part of the dentine, covered by cement, which is lined by periodontal membrane. This tooth, which is whose formation is at the 6 months of a time period and is completed by 24 months, means the 2 years. The later The permanent set of teeth starts formation by 8th year and it is completed by 18 to 25 years. We have seen that in scissors, canines, premolars and molars. In scissors, canines and two molars are the diffeodont teeth which are formed twice. Whereas the case with all premolars and the third molar is a monophyodont. Why? So that is an exception which is formed only once. That's the reason why we find the 2102 by 2102 is the dental formula of the children, where they have the 20 teeth, whereas the adult will have 32. 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 8. 8 of the half of the upper jaw right side, 8 of the half of the upper jaw left side. Right, left, upper and lower jaw, 8, 8, 8, 8 is equal to 32 number of the teeth. Basically, the third molar teeth, which is said to be the wisdom teeth, which is formed at the 23 to 25 years of age. That is the information regarding the tooth, which is followed by tongue. Tongue is considered to be the universal toothbrush. Tongue is the muscular and movable, pulverizing, universal toothbrush we consider. Tongue can clean the tooth. That's the reason why it is pulverizing, which is a universal toothbrush. As we clean our teeth by brush, in the same way, the tongue helps in cleaning the tooth. So it is the universal toothbrush. Tongue is what made up of voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles in the sense, the one that are under the control of the will of an organism. And voluntary or the striated and skeletal. But here we see the tongue is voluntary but not skeletal. It is associated with the intrinsic extrinsic muscles. So the tongue is a movable because of the muscular. The muscles are voluntary. Movable, muscular, universal toothbrush. The tongue is the tongue which is differentiated into two parts. One is the pharyngeal part and the another part is the oral part. Tongue what connected to the floor of the oral cavity by means of frenulum, lingual frenulum. Lingual frenulum is what connects the tongue to the floor of the buccal cavity. And by means of inverted T-shaped partition called the sulcus terminalis. Sulcus terminalis differentiates the tongue into the upper pharyngeal part and the lower oral part, which means the tongue is regionalized on its surface, pharyngeal part and the oral part. At the middle of the sulcus terminalis, there present a pit named to be the foramen cecum. Generally, the tongue, which is a taste organ, which we consider it is for taste. Why? It is made up of the taste buds. These are part of the projections. On the tongue there we see the projections. The projections on the tongue are what named to be the papillae. The projections in the tongue are what named to be the papillae. Papillae contain the taste buds which are of sense of taste. Basically, the taste of the food is of sweet, salt, sour and bitter. We taste the food. After tasting the food, we say either it is a sweet or salt or the sour and bitter. So these taste buds are present in a sequential manner: sweet, salt, sour and bitter. The tongue is a taste organ. Why? Because of the taste buds. Taste buds are present in the projections named to be the papillae. These papillae are of 4 types. That is the fungiform papillae, 2 filiform papillae, next circumvallate and the foliate. This is what we see. Tongue is a taste organ. However, there are many functions performed by the tongue. Particularly, it refers to the sensory organ, that is for taste. The taste is because of the taste buds. These taste buds are present on the projections. The projections on the tongue are what named to be the papillae. Papillae are of fungiform, filiform, circumvallate and foliate. Of this, the fungiform are considered to be, they are the present at the fungiform papillae are present in the anterior margin of the tongue or fungiform papillae. Next, anterior margin of the tongue or what with the fungiform. Filiform are what considered to be, the fungiform are, at the diagrammatically we can see they are larger than the filiform and smaller than that of the circumvallate. In terms of the size also we can observe the fungiform are the present at the anterior margin of the tongue, anterior tip and margin. This is the tip. And the margin, anterior tip and margin of the tongue are of fungiform. Next, the filiform. Filiform are the smallest and the most numerous. When something is small, definitely it is numerous. So here, the filiform are the smallest and numerous. Of all the papillae, filiform are the smallest and the numerous. And these are present at the upper surface of the tongue. Look at here. It is upper surface of the tongue. And the largest one is named to be the circumvallate. Circumvallate are present at the posterior surface. Posterior base of the tongue is circumvallate. Posterior base of the tongue is circumvallate. Diagrammatically, we can see that they are larger. They are 5 to 8 in number and each consists of 100 taste buds. So, taste buds are part of the papillae. These papillae, in terms of the size, circum is the largest, whereas followed by the fungiform and filiform. So, filiform is the smallest one and numerous. Next, the foliate. Basically, the foliate papillae are considered to be underdeveloped in the human beings. Underdeveloped means, however, they are formed in the children, but they are not developed in the adult stages. They are degenerated while formation. That's what the foliate are not developed in the adult stage. Present is 4. Textually, if you see, we find the fungiform, filiform and circumvallate itself. We don't see the foliate. But as according to the human physiology, the foliate are present in the young children but are degenerated in the adult. That's the reason why we don't see that in the adult. In this connection, the filiform are the smallest and the numerous. These are what? Tactile in function. So this is one of the important point we see. Tactile means touch. So do we get the sense of touch when you touch the tongue? Definitely. That is because of the filiform. which means the only papillae that are devoid of the taste buds, if a question asked, that is none other than the filiform. That is, they are devoid of the taste buds and contain tactile receptors, touch receptors. This is how we see a tongue is with the finger, the projections named to be the papillae. Papillae contain the taste buds which are varied in number, and this tongue is of the taste in function, the taste of the food which is the sweet, salt, sour and bitter, which are sequentially arranged on the tongue. And the papillae are of fungiform, filiform, circumvallate, foliate. The fungiform are present in the anterior tip and margins of the tongue. They are larger than the filiform, smaller than the circumvallate. Filiform, the smallest and the most numerous are filiform. Filiform are with the tactile receptors, tactile touch receptors, which means they are devoid of the taste buds. It is of touch. And the circumvallate, the largest papillae are the circumvallate, which we refer as the vallate also. They are 5 to 8 in number, and they are each circumvallate consists of 100 taste buds. Foliate are the fourth one, which are formed in the young ones but are disintegrated in the adult individual. So collectively we see the papillae which are devoid of the taste buds is filiform. The papillae that are degenerated in the adult individual is a foliate. Next, the tongue functions. Tongue is of pulverization. When we take the food is pulverized. Functions of the tongue include pulverization, mixing of the food with the saliva, pulverization. Next, it is the universal toothbrush, cleans the teeth. Next, swallowing of the food, once the food is mixed with the saliva, it gets churned by tooth, chewed, and it is mixed with the saliva, so it is chewed by teeth and it is swallowed. Then it is the organ of the taste of the sweet, salt, sour and bitter is being tasted. Then it is besides that, it is for the speech. The speech of an individual is because of the movement of the tongue itself. Generally, the nerves are associated with it, which are what are linked to the brain, and this is how we are able to speak. There are areas in the brain, Broca's area, which is what refers to the speech. So, speech is what the functions. So, functions of the tongue refers to pulverization, mixing of the food with the saliva and swallowing it, tasting, and speech are what we consider as the functions of the tooth. And also it is said to be the universal toothbrush. The universal toothbrush refers to that it cleans the tooth. That's what it is, the tongue. So here the points to remember: the tongue without the papillae are foliate, that are devoid of the taste buds are filiform. The largest is the circumvallate, the smallest is the filiform.